Hello everybody, Jacqueline here, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about squatting. This is Squat 101, and I'm wearing bare feet and I'm wearing white so that you can see proper form and technique, which is paramount. So what I'm going to recommend is that you start barefoot so that you can get your feet firmly planted on the floor. So it's really important to have the baby toe and your big toe and your heel always on the floor. So what you're going to do is to perform a proper squat, have your shoulder blades back and down. Your core is nice and tight. So your core is not tight if you have this going on with your shoulders. So starting off with your head, your shoulder blades back and down, your core is nice and tight. Your legs are either hip width or slightly wider than hip width apart. For myself, I have had 3 children. My hips are in a place that if I have my feet directly under my hips and I go into a squat, my hips are not a happy camper. They're not happy. They're not going to go as deep as I can possibly go in my squat. They're not even going to make it to 90 without feeling a little bit tight and thwarted. So for lack of a better word, I'm going to go slightly wider than hip width apart. There's nothing wrong with that. So when you are getting ready to squat, you don't squat like this. So oftentimes I'll talk to a client and I'll say, okay, let's get into your squat. And they will start to do this. This is not squatting. Think about squatting in the woods, literally squatting in the woods. So shoulder blades are back and down, core is nice and tight, you've got a neutral spine, and you're going to start to hip hinge backwards, keeping your toes and your heels on the floor. You're going to get to as far as you can go comfortably. You keep your spine up as much as possible, and then you come up. So for me, my left hip is still a little bit impinged. So I'm going to take my toes slightly outward. Every body is different. So as much as you can, you keep your chest up, you reach back, and you go down as far as you can go. And then come back up. So sometimes what people think is that they have to keep their knees behind their toes and they have to go back. And then in order to keep their knees behind their toes, they'll lift their toes. I did it myself. But it's much better to keep your feet in full contact, and then you've got the proper alignment to come down to your personal best. Some people can't go further than this. Some can go all the way down. You can train yourself to go all the way down. So before you start lifting heavy weights, whether it's with a bar on your back, whether it's with the bar on the front, whether it's with free weights, learn to squat properly. It's vital. So the other thing you want to look for, and I recommend doing this in front of a mirror as well, is that when you come down into your squat, you're hinging back. You do not have your knees coming in. This is vital. This shows an imbalance in your leg muscles. So if your knees have a tendency to want to come in, this means that your adductors, your inner thigh muscles, are much stronger than your abductors and your glute medius. So try as hard as you can to track your knees straight. So I can still see my toes and have my knees come forward and come down. Now, I want you to do, if you can do all that, 3 sets of 15 squats, as low as you can go, just using body weight, keeping your chest as high as you can, having your knees not fall in and not go out either. They should be tracking in the same line as your toes. If you can do that without knee pain, perfect. I want you to get to 3 sets of 15 at least 3 times a week. Give yourself a day in between if you're super sore before you start with the weights. Then start holding your weights. Free weights are always the best way to go when you're first starting out. A bar is really heavy unless you have a body bar. So you can get weighted body bars that you can then put behind your neck, but that's a whole other video. How to squat properly with a bar, either up here or here. That's Olympic lifting. Start with your free weights. You can do goblet squat. When you do a goblet squat, it ensures that you keep it close under your chin and ensures that you keep your upright position as much as possible. Once you can do that, we do something called a wall squat or a squat test when I do strength testing. So what we do then is we take ourselves a foot away from the wall. So just taking yourself back a foot and then squatting down and holding it like this. If you can do this, you can start working with free weights. If you can hold this, forget this. 2 minutes. Then start lifting weights. That's awesome. It is a great test to see how strong your legs are. Now, if your knees hurt, you can do what I call a wall squat. So when I have people with knee issues, they can strengthen their legs, and they're just beginners. They're going to come against the wall and they're going to take themselves down so that they're at a 90. So their knees are right above the ankles. Hip width or slightly wider than hip width apart. And they're going to sit here for 2 minutes. It doesn't seem like a long time, but try it. It isn't that easy. So you will feel this the next day. So if you won't feel the pain in your knees, and then you're going to come out of it. So give your squats a try. Let me know how you do in the comments. And I would love to help in any way I can. Stay tuned for the next video. We're going to do this. Try for a week. My next video is going to come out next week on proper lunge technique. So always work your legs first, and we will develop a program. I can tell you what you can do on your program, how you want to work out, and how you want to pull it, everything into a program. So lunges are next. Stay tuned. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope I have helped. Have a fantastic day. Have a strong day, my friends. If you like the video, subscribe, like, leave some comments, share. Thank you. Bye for now.